Hey everybody, Murray Gusseck here with my trusty tap-off practice pad. I'm going to give you a few tips on some ways to work on your independence skills. So let's get started. Basically, for this, I'm going to turn the pad and I'm going to put the black dark matter oval to the left because I'm going to use this kind of like a snare sound while I work my independence. I'm going to do the constant pattern in my right hand. We'll start with, let's say, just threes. And just to be a little bit groovier, let's do kind of the opposite rhythm. 1 and a 2 and a 3, like a straight swing pattern. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And I want to build my independence with my left hand against that rhythm to work on my chops, become a better drum set player, etc., etc. So this is going to be my snare sound, and this is going to be my gum rubber sound. And one of my favorite exercises to work independence against any type of pattern, I think is very effective. It's a little bit boring, but you know, if you're OCD like me, you kind of get off on these type of exercises. So it's grid-like. Okay, so I'll call it the grid, and we'll start with a half note grid. And so what I'm going to be doing is playing half notes in my left hand while I play this pattern. Okay, so getting started, start about here. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll start playing half notes on my left hand on 1 and 3. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go about 4 times or 4 measures worth of those, or more if you need it. And then go to the E. Go to the second 16th note after 1 and 3. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E, 2, 3 E, 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 4. Move it again to the end beat. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, and so forth. Move it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Moving it again. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 E, 3, 4 E. 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 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so I've now completed the grid. It's gone back around to the 1 again, and I now have a good working relationship with single notes at a half note frequency in all parts of the half note, in all parts of the grid. Okay, what you do from there is you shrink the note value. Okay, instead of half notes, do dotted quarters. Okay, so instead of 2 full beats of duration, you're going to get a beat and a half of duration, all the while with that pattern, or whatever pattern you choose. Okay, so the dotted quarter note is actually a polyrhythmic figure to play against that, so I'm actually going to sort of treat it like I'm in 3/4. It makes it a little bit easier at first, and then when you get good at it, you can stay in 4/4 mentally, and it won't be a problem for you. Okay, so it's the same idea. You're going to take these dotted quarters and you're going to move them down the grid. Okay, and to a certain extent, since they are polyrhythmic, they actually do their own job of moving down the grid somewhat successfully. But here's what it sounds like starting on 1. And so it's a dotted quarter note. I'm in 3/4 now, so I'm going to go on 1 and the and of 2, 1 and the and of 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 and 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 3. grid, you're now going to be on the second 16th note, or the E of 1, and instead of the and of 2, you're going to be on the of 2. It sounds like this. 1, 2, go. 1 E, 2, 3. 1 E, 2, 3. 1 E, 2, 3. 1 E, 2, 3. 1 E. 1 E, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Move it again, starting on the and of 1, and the second note would be on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 3. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. Move it again. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3 E. 1, 2, 3 E. 1, 2, 3 E. 1, 2, 3 E. Okay, and you see how that works. And so basically you're building upon the skills from the prior exercise where you're just doing half notes because you have done all of those notes, but now you're putting them closer together. So the demand on your coordination and your mental kind of awareness and your sense of rhythm becomes greater, okay? And so you guessed it, after you get done with that, you now are on basic quarter notes, okay? So basic quarter notes, don't need too much explaining. You go back into 4/4. 1, 2, ready, go. You get enough of that, go to E's. Ands. Okay, and I should say that you should be taking these things in stride according to your success rate. So a lot of people, when they get into doing this kind of thing, the double stops are the hardest part. So with my right hand pattern, the double stops occur on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So work so that you don't get a flam sound. You know, and I can tell if I put my sticks back onto the same surface each, I can really hear that flam pop. So that's my cue of, hey, that's not exactly accurate, so I want to try to make a real true double stop. So if you start the exercise this fast, and it starts falling apart on you, that's a pretty good clue that you're too fast for yourself, and your progress is going to be really mucky and slow. So, you know, in drumming, my rule of thumb is, if it hurts, if you can't do it, or it feels bad for whatever reason, it's either too fast or it's too loud, okay? So you could adjust both. Okay, that kind of quality practice is way more beneficial and you'll get better faster than, oh, I'm kind of doing it. Yeah, you're kind of not doing it, all right? So slow it down, get it right, and build upon that, okay? All right, to finish up here, you can continue to shrink the note values. So we were just at quarter notes. Let's go to dotted eighth notes. Okay, this is now very polyrhythmic. It's the same type of thing as the dotted quarter notes we did a few minutes ago, but again, it's busier. There's more demand. It's going to sound crazier in your ear, and you know, you can start it in 3/4 if you like. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is called the 4/3 polyrhythm. If I count it, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I would grid it and move it. And we'll start on the second 16th note. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, grid it again, start on the end. 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you can start it on the but that really is the same as starting on the 1 with the way that particular rhythm pans out. And again, as you get comfortable with that, keep it in 4/4, because now, since it's polyrhythmic, now you're going to go through all those grids naturally, because the whole thing is polyrhythmic. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, just in that 4-bar span, I've actually done all of the different cycles for that rhythm. So it's pretty cool that way. Shrink the rhythm again from dotted eighths now to straight eighths. 1, 2, ready, and. This is one of the easier ones to understand, but it's actually one of the harder ones to play well. Especially when you switch it up here. 1, 2 to the E's and the U's. 1 E, E, Okay. So anyways, that's one of my favorite independence exercises. That was a very basic approach with a simple 1 beat long rhythm on the right hand, the dut, da da dut, da da dut. You can do it with the opposite rhythm, dig a dut, dig a dut, dig a dut, dig a dut, or try something cool like da 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 da. 1 E, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you kind of work that Brazilian thing a little bit. And that's a really cool way to do it. You can also take, instead of playing 3 notes, you can just do 2 notes and do, let's say, a samba bass pattern. Wasn't obviously doing the grid on the left hand, but you get the idea. You can, of course, take the idea into more complex patterns, like, let's say, the Cuban triplet, as I've heard it called. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you start with that half note. When you start gridding it and moving it around, you'll see right where the challenges are. Okay, and yeah, it's a great way to work out the kinks in your rhythm, to strengthen your sense of timing, and it's a great chop workout because you want to do all these different note values, ideally a set number of times, and go from one to the next without stopping. You really build your chops. And last but not least, don't forget to do it based on the left hand. Okay, if you don't do the left hand, you're losing some great opportunity to build some great chops over here through a very simple thing. Okay, just doing a repeated pattern, whatever that may be. It could even just be quarter notes. But lots of benefits to doing it with the opposite hand of what your intuition would be. So that's a little bit about independence. That's my independence grid exercise. Check it out. Hope you like it, and I'll see you next time.